What's up, my loves? My name is Paige, this is Pages with Paige, and today I'm going to be doing 7 on Sunday. Continuing on with the Black Lives Matter movement, I've left in the description box below links to various resources, petitions and donation sites through Knox Reader's blog post. Even though it's been 2 weeks, this conversation needs to be ongoing, and throughout the foreseeable future I'll be linking these resources down below, so go check them out. For those new to 7 on Sunday, it is a Goodreads group created by Grace from G Swizzle, and I'll leave a link to both the Goodreads group and Grace's channel in the description below. So this week's topic in celebration of Pride Month is our favourite LGBT characters, and so I have 7 characters that I've absolutely adored. The first character I want to talk about is Mog from Kings of the Wild by Nicholas Ames. Mog is a delightfully, little bit crazy, eccentric wizard, and I just picture him as this short little dude, and he's just bouncing around and the ball of energy and comedic relief. He is gay. His storyline follows trying to find a cure for a plague that is happening to save his partner's life, and it's just really beautiful and touching. And even though Mog's a little bit all over the place, he's still so wholesome and pure, and I cried so hard wanting to protect and love him. Kings of the Wild is following a band of retired mercenaries who get back together to do one last quest, and it's a ball of fun. It's very humorous as they are older gentlemen, so they complain about their backaches and other things that they no longer can accomplish because they're not in their youth, and yeah, it's just a very humorous take on a fantasy quest. The next character I want to talk about is Mike from My Brother's Husband by Gogoro Tagami, and this is a manga where a Japanese man moved to Canada to be able to be himself more, and he meets this guy Mike who is gay, and they form a relationship. The partner of Mike dies, but had requested to Mike before he passed to go visit his family in Japan and form connections with them, and it's really interesting seeing how the author tackles homophobia through Yaichi and through Kana, and their different takes on it. Kana's just, yeah, cool, awesome. Yaichi has to really work through his feelings and emotions, and it's about how they bond together and come to realize that love is love. The next book I want to talk about is pretty renowned across BookTube, but I can't not mention it because she is a queen, and that is The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo by Taylor Jenkins Reid. Evelyn Hugo is our bisexual queen, and that's all I'm going to say on it. This is following her story as we navigate through her 7 husbands and find out who the true love of her life was. The next book I want to talk about is Achonka, and you will need a box of tissues to get you through it, and that is A Little Life by Hanya Yaragana. I definitely recommend checking any trigger warnings before going into this. This has a lot. It is intense. The character that I adore in this is one of our 4 main protagonists, and they just are wholesome, and I want to protect them with every fiber of my being. The relationship that develops in this is absolutely heart-wrenching and destroyed me a little bit, but in the best possible way. So yeah, definitely tread into this with caution, but it is such an amazing read, and I loved the relationship that forms. The next book I want to talk about, I'm holding the second in the series because the first one is finding themselves, and in the second is definitely more explored, and that is Silver and Stone by Felicity Banks, the first being Heart of Brass. So in Heart of Brass, Emmeline and Matilda are sort of figuring out what their relationship is. There's a lot of conflict between them, but in Silver and Stone, things have taken a different direction, and it's following them as they figure out what's appropriate to happen in Victoria in the Gold Rush era. So yeah, it's historical fiction and it's queer, and I loved it, and I can't wait to pick up Iron Lights and see how the relationship is further developed. The next book I want to talk about is a relationship in Record of a Spaceborne for You by Becky Chambers. This is between Isabel and Tasman, and I think that it is so precious, the way that they support one another, and I love Tamsin because she's like this snappy old lady that doesn't let anything get in her way, and Isabel's just like there for support and helping, but also independent in her own right. And yeah, the relationship between them was just so awesome to read because it was a very natural feeling relationship. It wasn't forced, and I could see the characters grow and bond together, and it was really, really sweet, and they are married. So in this series, there's no limitations on sexuality, and I think that it was just really wholesome to see. And the final book I want to mention is an absolute new all-time favorite. I adore it with every fiber of my being, and speaking of wholesome, this is wholesome in its entirety, and that is The Tea Dragon Society by Katie O'Neill. Yes, just this is queer. There are multiple queer couples in this, and it's just so wholesome, and their sexuality is not the focal point of the plot. It's just two characters that get together, and that's okay. And I think it's really important having books like this that are so accessible to put the word out. Coming out stories don't need to be the center of the story. It's great that they're there so people going through that can relate to it, but also having stories that just follow a couple because they are a couple just is wonderful and pure as well. So they are 7 books that have some LGBT rep in them, and I absolutely adored every single one of these books. Yeah, I think it's absolutely wonderful. So check down below in the description box for links to the Black Lives Matter movement. We need to keep the momentum going. So if you like this video, feel free to give it a thumbs up, and if you'd like to see more of this mess, feel free to subscribe. Let me know in the comments below what's your favorite LGBT book that you've read or favorite character, and yeah, I will hopefully see you in my next video. Bye!